Because I will say this about the alien agenda. The Bible says there will for sure be demons, there will for sure be locusts, which is just another name for hybridized demons. They will be here in the end days. But I'm telling you this, there are demons on this planet now as we speak. There are creatures now on this planet as we speak. The Bible says you reap what you sow. And all I'm saying is we don't want to come into contact with these creatures way before their biblical time. I'll put it that way because the fact that so many people know about these things, that, you know, if you're in Santeria, which I know a lot of people are, if you're into witchcraft, I know a lot of people are, if you're into voodoo or hoodoo, I know a lot of people are, you're aware of the existence of these demons. You're not ignorant, you're not stupid. You may play stupid, but really you're not. With so many people being aware of what these things are, what their intentions are, and the fact that they give themselves over to them, you don't think that potentially you could bring these things upon the earth way sooner than what the Bible says? And even then, I mean, by the looks of it, it doesn't even matter if it happens sooner because we're already there. You know, with this Project 2025, it looks like that Christian persecution is coming. I mean, that's just what it looks like. So, and everyone knows after the Christian persecution, well, that's when, you know, those creatures pop out. So either way you want to run it, it doesn't look like there's very much time before these creatures are going to pop out. Both from the firmament and from the bottomless pit. So that's really what I'm trying to explain, is that it doesn't even really matter too much whether these creatures pop out before, you know, the bottomless pit or afterwards, because we're already at that point to where we're gonna be in the Christian persecution. And it looks like lots of these, you know, seals are gonna start opening all together at once. And it's already looking like the first seal has already opened up. So yeah, really, we're getting into how, you know, this technology, these entities are all correlating for one, because you have Neuralink, you know, being developed too. And Neuralink is like, dude, like I said, people have to be so asleep if they don't understand what Neuralink is, if they don't understand what the what that was about, if they don't understand, you know, what the whole alien demon invasion agenda is. Because really, I also do think that these demons, I do think they want humans, you know, integrated with technology before they are on the earth. Like, I do think they do want to alter humanity before they reveal themselves. They definitely don't want humans to be human before they, you know, mingle amongst us. And that to me makes a lot of sense about why they're so low key. You know, it never really did make sense before about why these creatures, why they'd rather be so low key for now, but why they seem to have such a big role in the future. That never made a lot of sense until I started thinking about it, and I realized that basically the whole reason for that is because these creatures, they're literally trying to basically alter humanity, so that way by the time we come across them, we're not even, first of all, we won't even be conscious. We're going to be robotic. Secondly, we're going to relate more to a hybridized species than we would a God natural species. So really the whole point of genetic modification is making us comfortable with, being amongst demons. And I know that's a lot to break down for some people. I know that's kind of, difficult for some people to comprehend that. The whole point of altering humanity is to make us comfortable living amongst demons, but when you look at the Skittle community, the Starburst community, lots of those people, they get very comfortable with worshiping demons because they feel they feel like they can relate to the whole concept of having and a vessel that that isn't a God vessel. One thing I noticed that lots of them suffer from is the fact that they get told that they're not natural. And that to me correlates so strongly with the fact that they worship demons. Because it's like demons, it's almost like that same judgment those demons get is the same judgment those people get for trying to be what they're not. And it's like those demons use that relatability to groom these individuals into worshiping and following them. Like, oh, I was rejected too. I was judged too. I was judged for being like this. And then, the person's like, well, you're not all that bad because I experienced that too. And really, when I put it like that, that's definitely, I think, the agenda of them getting humans to literally alter their God-given bodies. Because if we literally blaspheme God by altering our bodies to the point of no return, you don't think these demons will literally look at us like, hey, welcome to the club? Like, I want y'all to think about it like that. As humans, like as regular humans that have not been altered, you can only be around those things for so long before you realize, like, what is this? Like, sure, you can get caught up in a spell, in a delusion, but eventually you're gonna snap out of it and be like, what is this thing? Either that, or it's gonna have to explain itself and you're gonna have to give in. It's really those two options at the end of the day. But I feel like if you alter humanity enough to not only altering the genome, but the brain, the thought process, you could definitely reveal yourselves to humanity without becoming an enemy. Especially if you've mixed your genome amongst humanity. So that to me is the whole technological agenda, the gene agenda, gene editing agenda. It's not really so about altering humanity. Of course it's like the mark of the beast where they want to make humanity unrecognizable to God. no longer a creation of God, but really I think these entities can't exist amongst us unless they alter us. And that's actually how it's been since the book of Genesis. If you really think about it, the fallen angels, the only time they were ever amongst us were when they were there to alter us. And it's just like, in the garden, the only time these entities were there, at least, the primary time they were there, was when they were there to alter us. And by the time we're altered, we accept it. Like, if you really look into it, by the time they had been so altered by the fallen angels, they had become comfortable living amongst them. And yeah, it's not like, they didn't originally already have an angelic aura to them to where humans wanted to be around them. But it's like, even once they fell and became ugly, once they became abominations, something about humans mingling with them made them comfortable with those abominations. So yeah, this whole agenda where it's like altering humanity, that seems to always happen before these creatures reveal themselves, or around the time these creatures reveal themselves. So I'm telling y'all, I wouldn't be surprised if the whole purpose of humanity being altered via that and technology and GMO is really because they're trying to, make us non-human to get us comfortable with the fact that there's going to be non-human intelligence on this earth. That's just what it is. I know this video was a lot. I know that it's a lot to break down. I know that some of you may struggle if this is your first time hearing this type of stuff, or if you're not too educated, but I recommend you look into it a little bit. And, I'll try to break it down a bit further, because if you don't know, demons, ghosts, shadow figures, spirits, imps, elves, goblins, ghouls, they're all real. And I'm not gonna lie to you just because, Project 2025 is around the corner. There's lots of creatures that they exist. They scientifically exist too, like shadow figures and black body radiation. It's a natural scientific phenomenon. But lots of this stuff is real. And that's just, the tip of the iceberg. When you look into antimatter and dark matter, when you look into other frequencies and dimensions, it becomes obvious that we're cut off from certain aspects of reality. And when you look at certain rituals or you look at certain witchcraft, all they're doing is tapping into those other aspects of reality that God has shielded us from, that God has protected us from, because He loves us. Not because He wants to keep us from experiencing things, but because there's genuine danger when you mess around with that stuff. So yeah, hopefully some of you look at this video, and you may not understand it entirely, but I know some of you who've been into witchcraft, I want you to know the enemy wants to take your whole life away from you and reward you with an eternity of suffering.